What's up? God damn that hat. I dropped my hat on the ground earlier outside, and now it's all dirty and shit. Oh fuck. So what's up? My dog's over making noises. It's the way my dog is. So. Excuse me. So this is not a stream. This is CNN. This is CNN. Let them be doctors, lawyers. Damn it. People with the crazy. Fireworks still going off outside. It's the way it is, though. I'll be hearing fireworks for fucking weeks around here. Mama's gonna let your babies grow up to be cows. Let them be doctors and lawyers and such. Fuck, man. Anybody watching? I might as well just not do this tonight. Might as well. What's up, Gator Coot? How's it going, man? Hello, Landon. How you doing? Hope you're well. Everybody, it must start just now. It must have just now started like fucking alerting people or something because a group of you came in at once. I don't know. I'm well, but well. I'm all right. I've been very frustrated today. Um, very angry, upset, disappointed. Little tweet. Other than that, I'm all right. Really, Pat? Really? Sodomites and heathens? That's pretty good, actually. Though. Good for you, Pat McCrunch. I like that because I am a sodomite and a heathen. Tell you about it? Nah. Just people disappoint me, man. Certain people just disappoint me. But oh well, I'll get over it. They still ain't got back to me from you, VidMe yet about that tip you gave. I've been trying to get a hold of them. I've sent like 5 fucking messages. Let me share this right quick. See, North. I may bring somebody along. Landon, you want to come join me? Here, we get you over here. Let me see, get you a link, buddy. This is not a stream, by the way. This is the voice of God. So. So Pat McCrotch is up in this bitch. Am I still out of fucks? Yeah, I'm still out of fucks. I don't know. Today I kind of gave a fuck, and I kind of regret that I did. That's the truth. I hate giving a fuck, and sometimes I do give a fuck, and that really bothers me that I give a fuck. And today's been one of those days where I actually gave a fuck, and I got pissed off at myself for giving a fuck. So there you go.
Hello there.
Hey,
Monk, how you doing?
What's your shirt say?
It says exoplanets are out of the solar system.
Ah, that's a little smart humor for you.
Yes. So you gave you cared about something, and the result was not
me worrying about it. See, that's the I'm a worrier. Landon knows me. I'm a worrier, right?
You obsess about things.
I do obsess about things. This is the way I am. So I've been trying not to do that so much because, well, one thing is health reasons. Because I get stressed out, my blood pressure goes up, and I can fucking have a heart attack. But today's been one of those days where I got really, really irritated. I would have probably ripped people's faces off today. I was even actually almost mean. Like I used to be. And I don't like that. That's another thing. I was disappointed in myself because I almost got mean.
So, do you think you were tired and just let your guard down? Or are you feeling ill, or is it just
I think it's a lot of,
your time of the month?
yeah, I'm bleeding. My pussy's bleeding. Um, I think it's lots of like multiple things. Like I haven't been feeling well, but not like. I mean, it's just like because I've had that bug and can't seem to get rid of it.
Yeah.
It keeps coming back. It seems like, and then I just irritated today, and then sometimes we just all get in bad moods, and it was just not the day for shit, and then the shit happened. So.
Yeah. So, as I say, you're talking with your fans, and maybe that'll help
Yeah,
put you in a good mood.
absolutely. The
We
heat
can
doesn't.
try to cheer you up. In fact, one of the ways, folks, that you can cheer up Pimp Monk is to send via PayPal to a little bit to sswomanx@gmail.com.
This is true.
That could help a little bit, or you can go to VidMe and give a tip, or you can go to Patreon and become a Patreon, or you can add stuff. That might help.
Better the mood, huh?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm gonna tweak this out. Very good.
Yeah, probably Fuke, the heat probably doesn't help, or the humidity. Hey there, Luna. How you doing? Luna is in the house.
Have fun with me. I'm joking. Linda's a sweetheart.
Yes, she is. Rotten Temple.
Yeah, right. That's a hell of a name, isn't it? Every time I see his name, I'm like, what the fuck?
But,
I think he's got it off something. I don't know what that comes with. Explain to me where your name come from, Pimple. Like, did you just do it? Is it a troll name? Is that what it is? Because I've seen some really weird troll names. Like,
yes. I don't know. It seems kind of edgy. Now, it's interesting when I look at the Pimp participants. I'm not on the participants for some reason. How could that be?
It's got to do with the last few people that said something, I think.
So if I say hi, does that mean I show up on the participants list?
Maybe. Let me see.
Yeah, I do. Huh.
Yeah. That's what it is. It's the last.
Active, so it's active participants as opposed to. Because I noticed it was saying that there is like 6 people watching or 7 people watching or something like that. But it could be, this is also part of the whole YouTube doesn't really do the counting sort of thing.
No,
Although, by the way, do you know why the counting, the number of people, so forth, is kind of a bit edgy? Right? Or a bit non-trivial. Well, think about the fact that people potentially watch you from any place in the world.
Oh yeah, the servers.
The servers, right?
Yeah.
That what it does is it would require you to have a global lock, where every time someone starts watching, you'd have to get the lock to lock the number, add 1 to it, and then unlock the number. And for high volume stuff, that just would take too long for people to log in. So what it does is a server, each individual little server that's distributing your stuff, has its own kind of internal counter that it sends up to a master server. So instead of everyone going to the same spot, it goes up through a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so imagine, for example, that you might have a tree of servers in, let's say, Texas, Oklahoma, that each one of them knows how many people are directly talking to it, and they send that number over to a thing for the Midwest, which sends it up to Google, right? And so it kind of climbs up this tree, and along the way, some server gets rebooted because it gets overloaded. Someone drops the ball. The result is that the number of viewers going up to the top is not necessarily the number of viewers that connect into the system, right? That numbers can be lost. Now, this is not the subscribe unsubscribe business. This is the about how many. So the number of watchers is kind of about how many, and you'll see at times that the number of watchers now won't even equal the number of participants, right? And as we saw, if you don't say something, you drop off the participant list, but you're still watching. So it's approximate. And that would be okay, except the fact that that also affects people's money, right? The monetary stuff. So even the clicking the like button is not globally accounted for. It's kind of rolled up through this sort of tree of things. And so at best, it's approximate.
You'll notice that, especially like it'll say you got a certain amount of viewers watching on that, and then as soon as you end your stream, you'll notice you got 150, 200 viewers, and it'll say you only had 20 or 30.
Because everything gets closed, right? And when a server, when you complete something, everyone stops thing, then the server says, hey, I had 17 viewers. I forgot to tell you I was too busy, right? That's kind of how that sort of works. So again, it would be like you have different call centers, right? That it's not just one computer handing out your video stream. It's sent to the national and regional and local, and those people roll it back up to the main site. Some of them drop. Some of them, a server will get reports, and some reports will get lost. Some servers will regional server can drop and basically lose all the subscription stuff. But generally, once you've finished, that stuff rolls up to the top, unless, of course, they had to reboot a server or one of those machines crash. And by the way, guess what? When you notice that streams are lagging and stuttering and dropping, that could be because the whole YouTube infrastructure is overloaded. And when it's overloaded, guess what's the lowest priority? Counting viewers, counting subscribers, counting unsubscribers, counting likes, dislikes. That stuff is at the bottom priority. And so when it gets busy, remember also that YouTube is only giving a fraction of Google's infrastructure. You better believe something like search engine ad placement is a high priority, and trolls hitting the dislike button is down at the bottom.
It's not much of a... Yeah, the YouTube's on the bottom of Google's care, but they really, I mean, seriously, I mean, it's a different... It's part of Google, but it's like little compared to a lot of other shit they got going on.
Yeah. Now, if they were interested in it being a business, they would try to monetize some of this stuff. But for example, they tried to do this YouTube Red thing. And that gives you some features, like you're on a phone where you can run it in the background or that sort of stuff. But they haven't really done much with revenue with that sort of thing. If it was a serious revenue stuff where you had a broad ad placement, then it would work. But as I say, I think one of the things that Google needs to do is to have kind of a family-friendly YouTube, let's call it for mature audiences only YouTube, and an adult.
Kind of like this little site called Netflix does.
Yeah. Or television programs, or TV networks, that sort of thing. That's kind of how they should do it. And you sit there and say, if you want free, you just get the kid-friendly area.
And they even got kids YouTube thing. I mean, they've even got it.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess they don't. I don't know, man. They're weird.
Yeah. So that's, but again, if you're not part of the ad revenue or one of the major excuse me, major revenue sources for Google,
Mm-hmm.
then priority-wise, you're not that big.
Yeah, and you're not, and you have to really be up there on the YouTube chain for them to really give a shit about you anyway.
And remember, even if you have 1 million subscribers, you're 1 million
Yes.
subscribers on a platform that in their total revenue of Google is way down at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you're someone like TJ Kirk,
Mm-hmm.
you're kind of a rounding error as far as Google's total revenue or Alphabet's
Yeah,
revenue.
and then there's people on YouTube that's got like 3 or 4 or 5 million, you know. So,
But even then, even the biggest YouTuber has a relatively small amount of revenue compared with some of the other things that Google does.
oh yeah,
So
and
so there's a kind of a
but it doesn't make sense though in a way because it's so popular of a site.
well, but compare with the popularity of a search engine and ad revenue.
Yeah,
That's if you,
Sure,
I
sure.
suspect if you looked at the Alphabet Corporation's revenue, there's a good chunk of money going into search engine ad placement and the whole heuristic around that. That's significant, and even the biggest YouTuber is a rounding error on that thing way down at the bottom.
I can see that.
And I would not be surprised. Again, I do not have any direct knowledge about the revenue streams because I don't ask those questions of the founders. But I would not be surprised to see Google trying to position YouTube to be sold to somebody.
And I wish Amazon would buy them. I do. I wish Amazon would buy YouTube.
Yeah, that would not be bad. I mean, Amazon is pretty mercenary as well, but they would, if they bought it, do something or shut it down.
Yeah, exactly. They would either, and I think they would do something with it. But Amazon's got some asshole stuff going on. Don't get me wrong, they definitely do, but they know how to run a fucking website. I mean, look what they do with the fucking. I mean, their video, their Prime is running excellent. I fucking love the way they do their video stuff.
Yeah.
Their movies and shows, how they, I think they do well, and I think they would just add it to Prime, which would be a good fucking thing because if it would be a paid service part, kind of, and
yeah. Now, I understand another thing that I'm sure that Google does is monetize, that is, analyze who is watching what, right? That's one of the things that I think Google is doing. So the ads, the type of shows you as a YouTube viewer watch is information they build about you, so that if they understand the contents of these sites, they can understand you as a potential ad target. All right. So what do you mean by that? Well, if you spend a lot of time watching ads about how to find the right college, then you'll start to see ads for college testing services and college placement services and student loans and so forth showing up in your JRandom search viewing. So that's one of the ways that Google, but see, even that, they don't have to know exactly what you're doing. They don't. It's not saying, "Oh, pimp monk," blah blah blah. Blah. It's just saying you're put into this class of stuff, and it doesn't have to be precise. It just has to be good enough so that they can monetize that kind of a thing.
And now here's what I think, and this could be a stupid fucking idea, but just ask the content creator when they sign up, what type of content will you be creating?
Exactly.
I would say I would be creating adult leaning content. Most content creators would be honest about it because they want that audience.
Yes, and so you might have two different channels. You might have adult channel, which, let's say, in the past when you did those so-called private shows, they would
Yeah.
definitely be on that whole channel. And
Yeah.
you'd have mature audience saying, you know, I'm not targeting 18-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
It's mature audiences that don't have burrs up their rear.
Exactly.
Because you say naughty words at times.
No, fuck no, I don't.
And you know, there is an audience that does that. And then look, for example, at the success of HBO versus NBC, right? HBO was able to put on to their cable TV, because they didn't have so much FCC interference, shows that people said naughty words.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a porn site, right?
No.
It was in that middle ground, and they were very successful. I think YouTube should consider the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Naughty words should not. I mean, fuck, naughty words is the world. I mean, I don't know. Hi, Devin, Eric. Oh, hey, Devin, Eric.
Yeah. Sorry I don't mean to.
No, it's
bore
fine.
people,
It's a good
but I mean,
conversation.
but
I'm
a
gonna go
lot
off
of
camera
people,
for a few minutes.
Sure. A lot of people don't, for example, really kind of understand the whole world of when they say monetizing, right? Of how, because remember, this is a very important thing, folks. If it is free to you, then you are the product that's being sold.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So this Pimp Monk stream that you're watching is free to you, and that's not the product. You, the viewer, are the product. And what someone like Google does is notes you are watching Pimp Monk, and also they're able to tell how long you watch. You're also probably sitting there with your search engine looking at stuff and chatting at people so forth. They're watching the total of what you're doing through the Google system, and trying to understand who you are.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I know that Google would like to do is to do analysis of the content, try to understand what the stream's about. So if they analyze this stream right now, they might say this is a stream about Google Analytics and ad analytics and content creation stuff. And if you haven't been bored out of your tears and go off to watch something else, they might say, oh, this person's also interested in content creation and internet. So again, when it's free, you are the product that are being sold.
Yep.
And that's good and bad. That's why I'd be willing to kick in money so that I'm not the product the content is.
Yeah.
Right? I would be willing to pay a certain subscription to be able to watch, adult content. So, an example, because you sit there and if you said, okay, we have this family-friendly kid Disney-ish, purity thing. We've got this adults that are reasonably mature, and then you have the porn site. Right? Both the mature and the adult stuff, you'd need to have some kind of barrier, such as a credit card, right? So you might sit there and say, if I want to watch something that isn't just pure Disney, happy-go-lucky, dancing pony stuff, you need to pay $1 a month or something like that to, through a credit card. Yeah, something like, as Ulan said, something like Patreon.
Yeah.
Right?
Patreon is awesome. That's the reason you guys didn't become Patreons to Pimp Monk. However, yeah, I agree. They need a better system.
Yeah, and so as the visionary said, when you tweet about ads and content, you get, random promotion pages, right, for stuff.
Yeah.
And Google is trying to do voice analysis of these sort of things to understand what it is. Unfortunately, one of the first things they did with that kind of content stuff is to demonetize certain things, as opposed to trying to monetize that in a certain direction. And because here's something funny. I mean, here's sort of that I've made a comment back to the founders.
Mm-hmm.
Their search engine does not delist web pages with naughty words.
Okay.
Their search engines and their ad revenue will understand mature content versus not. You can have, like, it's called the safe pages, right? And if you can turn on safe viewing,
Yeah.
but their search engine does understand and does monetize mature adults and even porn, right?
Hell yeah.
Because it makes them a lot of money, right?
Fucking hate it.
Right? They would not, if they said we only will search engine pages that are pure and polite, they'd lose lots of money.
Yeah, that's why you can search porn on Google.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, it's kind of funny at the we didn't see it, but when we were visited there, Pimlico, but in like in building 40, not I think it's 41, the lobby. There's an entrance they have is like a screen that's showing you live search engine stuff. There used to be live stuff where they show you what people are searching, and they had to turn it off because the amount of
Porn.
dirty search strings that people.
I got something for their search engine. Look, they can put this on the search engine right here.
Yes. They found that it was so now they either have something where they exclude those keywords or they only have like samples of safe stuff. But it used to be, if you saw the live search engine stream samples, again, it was in every search engine, you'd see some pretty amazing stuff that people wonder about.
YouTube demonetizing non-pure pages. It's fucking stupid as fuck. They keep fucking with non-Disney content.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a good thing to go. What do you think about Grey's Anatomy programming? Let's see, what do you think about Grey's Anatomy programming? My sister.
My sister with he says that Grey's Anatomy programmed his sister with feminism in the workplace. Well, that's, I don't know. I've never watched Grey's Anatomy, so I have no fucking clue.
Yes, I don't know either on there. But she hasn't stopped watching that show for days. It's like she got hooked in.
It's a show.
I know Grey's Anatomy, but what's this?
No, I'm talking
my sister with feminism.
What he's saying is that Grey's Anatomy programmed his sister with feminism. Like
okay.
It's trained her into feminism in the workplace.
Okay, yes. Okay, and that's sort of, so that's a program that's top. Well, I don't know. I mean, if you want to be in that responsible, mature adult stuff, then you need to be accepting of programs with political views that you might not like, right? Because it goes both ways.
Yeah.
I mean, so it'd be like saying, well, we'll only feature music with rock stars whose political views I agree with, right? No, if you're going to deal with mature stuff, you need to be able to deal with, the whole spectrum of things.
I have no personal issue with shows that push agendas. I really don't. There's too much of it sometimes, but what can you do?
But that's a topic, right? And so if you had some program that is some TV program that's all about social justice warrior stuff, that's just, to some people that's great stuff. So some people that's awful stuff, right? You can't sit there and say, I want everything that I like, but nothing I want to dislike. You got to take the good and the bad, with it.
Yeah, exactly. And we can't sit there and, I mean, I'm not the Divisionaire was trying to fucking protest the show or anything, but there is people out there that would do that. These so-called anti-SJWs, some of them would try to protest the show, which is exactly what they said they're against.
Yeah, and by the way, to some extent, programs that are edgy that get people to protest make use of that in talking about their success, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the people that get together and ban to say let's ban and get this kicked off the air, and let's boycott the advertisers who are advertising on this show.
Yeah.
Guess what? That's akin to pressing this dislike button.
Yeah.
And to some extent, when you dislike something, you're counted as an audience, right? Because you spent the time
to watch it.
Yeah.
And to participate and to talk about it and to get it more views by talking about it. So I mean, I know me personally, like with my own videos and stuff, I want people who disagree to watch too, because they're the ones who disagree with stuff usually talk about it more than the ones who agree with you.
Yeah.
So it's more attention. So Grey's Anatomy doesn't give a shit if you disagree with their opinion. Just watch and talk about it.
Yes. So if you wanted to battle, let's say there was a certain type of program that was pushing an agenda you didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
The way that you counter that is find programs that you like and promote those.
Yeah.
Right? So I mean, I don't know, again, what your opinion on Grey's Anatomy was, but if for some reason, let's say you thought that Grey's Anatomy was something you didn't want to promote, find programs that aren't Grey's Anatomy and promote them, right?
Exactly.
So that the ones that you don't like get lost in the noise.
Absolutely.
Right? It's like it was like this, remember, the professional troll, Milo.
Yeah.
The way, if you don't like Milo, the way to handle him is to not talk about him.
Exactly.
And instead talk about other people that you do like. So you might say, I don't want to talk about Milo, I want to talk about Neil deGrasse Tyson.
But that brings up another topic. Are we built to do that, though? It seems like we're built to like pander on the shit we don't like.
Well, that's perhaps a trend in society that we've seen growing in the last 20 to 30 years of somehow disagreement is somehow content that's worth watching.
And I think YouTube is one of the biggest fucking tools of that shit lately. Is that everybody talks about the shit they don't like, the YouTubers they don't like, the shit that you very rarely see a YouTuber talk about stuff that they like and promote YouTubers anymore.
Yeah, because Penmonk, hasn't some of your biggest shows been about when you criticize this YouTuber or that YouTuber?
Always. My most popular videos are, well, one example, my most popular video ever, of course, is the fat video I did, and that was the only video that's really popular that I didn't like get on there and be insulting toward another content creator or something like that. Sure. Or religion, or being anti-religious. My anti-religion videos are popular too.
So I want to acknowledge Larry is in the house, an honorable gentleman, which we're going to see in shortly, and I'll get a nice big hug from Larry. And of course we have Raisin Girl there. How you doing? And of course there's Mr. Metric.
Man, fuck all that people. I don't care about those people. They can suck my dick. Except Larry. I love Larry. Larry's a good man. The rest of them are pieces of shit. I give Larry's credit.
Yeah, so again, find stuff you promote.
Yeah.
And I promote things as a way of distracting people from stuff I don't want. There's certain content on YouTube that I don't like. But I keep that to myself, and instead I promote stuff I do.
Yeah, but I just don't see positivity having power these days. It doesn't. Negativity has all the power.
Hey, but it works for me.
Yeah, it works for you.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like in a whole, like, As far like we was just talking about, you go to videos. Videos are the ones that's why everybody's wondering why is there always drama on YouTube? Because you're watching it. That's why.
Yes.
Because
Guess what? You are the one that's promoting.
Absolutely, you're the one clamoring to watch it every fucking day.
Yeah.
And
So there, for example, are certain people. Let's take for example a large audience like the drunken peasants. There are certain people. If I mention blah blah or blah, you'll get all these people saying, "Oh, what an idiot that person is," or blah 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 blah. And in fact, if you analyze some of the content of drunken peasants, it's about people they dislike.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I love DP, but would everybody like DP if every video they talked about was saying, "Oh, this guy's good, this guy's great, I love his video"? No, it would not be popular. It would not be popular.
Yeah. So so that's kind of the set of stuff, and it's.
And don't get me wrong, I do it. I take part in the negativity. I do. I'm not
Well,
lying.
that's because you are providing content to your audience.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to grow your channel, you've got to respond to
What they want.
Yeah. Or you have to be somebody who doesn't give a damn.
And I'm both. No, I do give a damn. That's my problem. That's like today. I was so fucking upset and pissed off all day long. Anyway, everyone likes a certain amount of drama. Yes, they do. Everyone does, and I guess that's okay. But then you get okay. But here's my problem with it: is people that bitch about the drama, yet they know about the drama. Why do they know about the drama? Because they keep watching the drama.
Yes, exactly. And understand another thing that's happened is that once you become even a semi-public figure, you get all of the stuff that comes along with it. So people know that, for example, I used to be an elected official, and once you become an elected official and you become public, you get a whole bunch of stuff dumped on you. But that's part of the game, right? And I imagine as a YouTuber, when you begin to grow in popularity, you bring along a whole bunch of troubles and tribulations and drama and so forth, unfortunately.
Even me, who's mostly a small-time YouTuber, I mean, I'm kind of known on the internet now, but I mean, as far as I deal with shit every day. I get emails every day. This person pissed me off. Can you handle this, that? I'm like, I'm not your daddy.
Yeah. And there are politicians who have campaign advisors and political advisors who, if they're not in the limelight, will generate some kind of controversy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They will do things to set off a crowd. Right? Yep. So maybe, for example, you have somebody who, let's say, is considered right-wing that goes and throws out something that just gets the left hyperbolic and spewing and screaming and yelling and so forth. And they do it every once in a while because they want to keep their name.
Exactly. What do you think? What do you think all these entertainers, celebrities make sex tapes for?
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. Half of them leak the shit themselves. I mean, fuck, dude. There's lawyers. Did you know that there's lawyers who handle just that?
Yes. And they're called media consultants. They're called crisis advisors, and a number of other things for there. But so Larry claims that you brought herpes to the internet. Are you the originator of internet herpes?
Well, I got Larry a little bit of notoriety. That's what he's talking about.
Ah.
Yeah. Larry is the herpes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Drama on YouTube?
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
And look, I'm not bitching about. I want everybody to know I'm not bitching about drama. I'm just saying that I'm bitching about the people who bitch about it in a way, because I just truly believe that you hear all these people bitching about it, yet that's all they bitch about.
Yeah, so apparently Larry is, according to Pastor, is patient zero for internet herpes.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Larry. But anyway, that's again, in terms of political advisors, we'll talk about you're not in the news enough. What do you want to do? and you can't always get it in the news because you sponsor some great piece of legislation that
Yeah.
that everyone likes. Sometimes you set people off. There. And so, for example, on the city council, there was a time where there was a initiative that was dealing with restricting tobacco advertising in the state of California and a tax on there. And the tobacco, and as a healthcare thing, and the tobacco companies were coming out really, really strong against this measure. And so I would, on the council, at the end of the council, I would remind people about there is this initiative that the tobacco companies don't want passed, and if you think the following drug pushers need to be taught a lesson, and I would name and I would say the chairman of R.J. Reynolds, one of the biggest drug pushers, is name is blah, and here's an address and here's a phone number you can contact this drug pusher if you think you want to comment on their trying to stop the. And so I would basically and it was basically equating to tobacco companies with drug pushers, right?
Yeah.
Now, in the defense, I sit there. Well, coffee is also a drug, and people
Exactly.
do that. But I was basically saying, hey, now see, the ironic thing was, I was also known for not going along with prohibition, right?
Yeah.
I was trying to de-emphasize Sunnyvale's drug enforcement because I didn't think that Sunnyvale should waste money going after people smoking pot.
Yeah.
Right, as an example, or any other drug for that matter, right? I didn't think that Sunnyvale didn't have a major drug problem, and we shouldn't waste time every time the DEA or ATF wants to go and do some.
You pretty much want people to do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Yeah. But on the other hand, being sort of do what you want. If you are a consenting or responsible adult, do what you want. That also meant I didn't let big tobacco off the hook. I mean, I equated, and I still think that the tobacco company is no different than a cocaine pusher, no different than someone selling marijuana. I mean,
I agree.
Use it if you want to, right? Don't
Exactly.
pretend these are good and these are bad.
What you basically what you're saying in fucking street boy terms is they're not good, but they're not bad enough to say you can't do this, right?
Yeah, I mean they're
good and bad.
Responsible adults should,
make their own mistakes,
make their own decisions, right?
Yeah.
And so if I want to essentially decriminalize all drugs, that puts everything on the same footing. And yes, I think someone who is selling cocaine is the same kind of industry as someone who's selling tobacco. Someone who is promoting alcohol. They're all selling substances that adults can choose to use. Some are legal, some are illegal.
Yeah, exactly. I agree 100%. I got another topic I want to bring up if you don't. I was reading on this article today. There's this dude, I can't remember what country he's in. Yes, I do. I think it's Canada. It's Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Okay. He apparently he got busted. He ordered a damn. It's basically he ordered a sex doll, but it said massage doll, but it looks like a little child, and it came with sex toys and all this. Well, he's in trial, I guess. He got arrested for child pornography. Would you say that's child pornography?
There isn't a child associated with it.
No, it's just a doll.
Now the where you could have and this is you're dealing with sort of lawyers. Was the doll made to look up like a specific child?
Yes, it was made up to look like a child. I don't know about a specific child, but it looked like a little Asian child.
Well, here's example of this. That if you have a picture of a child being raped, for example, child pornography.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and say, well, I only had a picture. I didn't have the child, right? Because that's
There's an actual child being hurt.
Yeah. If, for example, the doll was made up to be a specific person, that's no different than having a picture of that actual child.
Mm.
And so I would equate the two with that. Now, if it's just a generic...
It's a generic doll. This is a generic doll.
Yeah.
And I do not want this man around my children or anybody else's children.
Yeah, so I think, and in that case, child pornography requires there to be a child.
Yes. To me, this is on the same level as thought crime. This is thought crime. You can't arrest people for thought crime.
Yes, and so that's what it said. I think that's the test. Is the source of this, a specific child, which is a victim.
And then when I first read the story, I was like, oh, I cringed like a motherfucker. And I was like, God damn it, this sick son of a bitch. I'm going to be honest with you. I started thinking, and then I thought, wait a minute, pimp, you're being a bit of a hypocrite here.
Because I don't know, how do you know a doll is a child or not? I mean,
well, it's dressed as a child. It's got the little uniform on. It's a little. It's like the size of an 8-year-old or something like that.
Yeah. Now, for example, you can go to Tokyo, and you will find shops that sell essentially young school children's clothes. Right? You can dress up and they have these sort of kind of sex shop type things centered around the typical Thai style of young schoolgirl uniforms, right? Is that child pornography?
It's not, because it's like I said. Here's my thing. Even though I would not be friends with this person or anything, but I would be a hypocrite if I said this person should go to jail for this doll or a drawing or anything like that, because I have been one who said many times that feminists are stupid when they say I can thought rape them.
Yeah, and so someone mentioned that they said, I think child porn should be handled like it is in Japan. Drawings are just drawings in Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, where it's different is if you draw a specific child.
Yeah.
Then
it's beyond thought crime.
Then that's a different sort of
yeah. And now, I do want to go. You go ahead.
So another thing is that for example, people who write stories, right? Mm-hmm. If you write stories about doing something bad to specific children, it's different than writing stories where there are children.
It's fantasy. It's thought. It's fantasy. I'm not saying it's good. I don't want to be friends with this person. I honestly, I wouldn't let my kids, because I know they have that kind of thoughts. But I cannot, in good conscience, say that this is a crime, because it's really not.
Exactly. If I were on the Supreme Court reviewing cases, I would make it very clear that one of the tests for child pornography is there a child involved, right? What is a source of this, whatever it is, a child or children, right? Now that's part of the legal test.
I agree, Luna. It is weird, but it is a fantasy. Oh, honestly, if I knew, Landon's a very good friend of mine, and I know he's not this kind of person, but if I found out he wrote child pornography fantasy, not child pornography, if he wrote fantasy stories about raping kids, I wouldn't be his friend anymore. I wouldn't want him to go to jail because he didn't actually hurt a child. But personally, I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be associated with that kind of shit.
Yeah. Now, my thing, if you want to ask me personally, I'm not into the whole adult porn.
Yeah, I know you're not. That's the reason I brought you, because you're like the most far from it I've ever seen. Now, I love porn, and I like fantasies, and I'll be honest with you. Just like a week ago, I read this whole goddamn 12 stories about incest. There was no children involved in it. It was like brother, sister, grown up, grandfather, and whatever. But it was, and I'm sitting there thinking, this is some weird shit. It didn't turn me on, but I have delved in some dark shit, some twisted shit before. But when it comes to children, I'm like, fuck you, no. But like I said, I can't say that I want people to be arrested for fantasy. I
Yeah.
can't do it.
So as Swag said, if you can't go to jail for killing someone in a I assume
Game.
like a video game, then you shouldn't have a fantasy drawing being
Illegal, yeah.
illegal.
I agree with that. Now, I'm about to say something y'all probably going to disagree with. I'm okay with people saying you're a sick, twisted fuck, you shunning you, acting like you're a dipshit. I'm perfectly okay with that because you know what? If you're thinking about raping children, it's possible that you may rape children, in my opinion. So I know that may be controversial, but I don't give a fuck. If you're thinking about having sex with a child, even if it is fantasy, then guess what? There's potential for you to fucking hurt a child. There's potential there.
Yeah, and so I was disappointed when the Supreme Court allowed the SEC to get away with indecency stuff and fining stuff, right? And because I think that's a curb on speech. I think there needs to be a actual tie to a particular harm. So what would make pornography illegal if there are non-consenting individuals involved? He's going to be there. So what I mean by that, again, why would a particular porn be, why would you want to curb a particular type of let's say, indecent material if there are non-consenting people being abused, victims of that? We in our society say if you are under this age, you by automatically cannot consent. But also someone who is an adult who is not compos mentis, who is not of their mind, can also be considered not consenting. If you are drunk out of your gourd and are unable to consent, and you're subject of pornography, that's also So it has to pass a test that it's someone who is able to give consent, who does consent, and then it can become. But I don't think that the FCC should get after people because they might use a naughty word, right? That's. I have a very good friend of mine who lost their job on a major radio station because they said "fuck Joe the plumber." Right now, what happened was the guy was he was doing a major talk show stuff, and they went on commercial break for the news or top of the hour and so forth, and the engineer didn't turn off the guy's mic. And so he started saying, this Joe the plumber, it was this whole political thing, blah, blah, blah. And so he said the F word to Joe the plumber. He said Joe the plumber ought to be, get rid of the guy, all this sort of stuff. And that went out over the air. And the SEC fined the station a very hefty thing because the guy said what I said. And the result, and that's, again, Joe the plumber was a political figure. The guy was expressing a political opinion. But because he said the F word, he lost his job. The engineer lost his job. The station was fined. A guy named Carell, go Karel, great guy. Go look up on there. He's was the first. One of the things, by the way, he was the first openly gay talk show host in America. He started off in Los Angeles, moved up to San Francisco, market share, and of course,
he moved to San Francisco, land of the fag.
So, but back to the thing. So I don't think the FCC should be allowed to fine a company because they use the F word.
FCC stands for flavored colored cock, right?
Yes, I think so. And so, Galen, here's what I said. I think that words There's no absolute word saying if you say this word, you are a bad person and we're going to fine you, we're going to suppress you, right? I think it's context. Much like child pornography or pornography crosses the line when it deals with someone who cannot give consent, right? The same sort of thing that I think content on the open airways, just because you say the word ass, right, doesn't mean all of a sudden now the place is defined. And what's worse is you get someone, you get a political figure who says a word and it's reported as news, and then all of a sudden that becomes okay. I mean, George Bush Sr. said a naughty word, people report on it, and that became kind of now normal. You could say that word now because a politician said it.
Yeah, we kind of already talked about like child porn and stuff, and rape porn, the same thing. I don't think if nobody's actually being raped, it shouldn't be banned.
Yeah, Galen asked about, what about rape porn? Many demand it to be banned. And again, the notion is it consent? Because some people ask, what if you had virtual reality with characters in a game where people are being raped, right? And someone else previously asked, saying, hey, if I have a game where we're going into a first-person shooter and I'm shooting people, I don't get charged with murder because I'm shooting virtual people.
Virtual people's lives matter.
Yeah. And so yes, you may choose not to participate in that stuff because it desensitizes you, but that's your choice. I don't think that the government has a compelling case to ban virtual, abuse, for example.
What do you mean a real film? Are you talking about like a film of somebody actually getting raped?
Yes, I mean if it's now, that's an interesting thing, Galen. Imagine, so again, there's no absolutes. Imagine a news story about a rape, right? To what extent can they talk about it without victimizing the?
Well, that's where. But now you're stepping in like the freedom of press thing.
Yes. So now, does that mean that a news story should say so and so got raped today? Here's the rape scene. Could they do that?
Yeah. I don't know. What about actual rape porn, not actual rape?
Okay. Porn, let's say if you had a story about someone getting raped, but it's not
real?
Not real?
Well, then I'm okay with it.
Because I think you have to say, is there someone, is there a person who was unable to give consent being harmed?
Yeah. It's just...
That's government's compelling interest to say we want to protect citizens, visitors, people, right? And so they might say if there's a victim, right? If there's no victim, right? And so that might mean that you could write a. So now here's an interesting question. Let's say you write a pornographic story about a religious character. And you claim, being a skeptic, that religious character is fictional. But other people claim that religious character is real.
Somebody just walked by. Rape porn, for instance, is within the field of professional, consensual, dramatic, theatrical arts. It is part of artistic experience. I agree.
Yes.
That's what we're saying here. Absolutely, Galen.
And Galen, one of the things that for example, there are documentaries, or let's say theatric documentaries, where they're reenactment of someone being abused, and let's say the theater is about the theater program's about abuse. You've got to be able to portray that abuse if you're trying to talk about. So it's just like saying, hey, if you say you can't say certain disparaging things about certain races, if you go too far, you might want to have a show about prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
And part of your prejudice is showing prejudice, right? And you may even have historical figures in that thing being, verbally abused, physically abused, based upon their race.
Mm-hmm.
That should be allowed. Again, this is one of those things where you can't simply say, "Oh, just because you say the N-word, we have to ban your play."
Yeah, nigga. Lesbian porn, bitches being raped. But I'll tell you a little something. Here's where I cowered out one time, Landon. I actually was going to do a video, right, where I was going to act like I was getting raped by somebody. And my cousin was going to be the guy who was raping me. And it was going to be a whole scene there. But I knew if I did it, that I would get fucking banned for life on YouTube.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I opted out. But it was going to be funny, though. I had it, but I still would like to do that one day, but not put it on YouTube.
Yeah. The thing that, Galen, I think that's important is that you have to consider the context, you have to consider the situation. And it's one of the reasons why courts are run by people, not computers. Right? We don't have some algorithm that sits there and says, what you did was illegal. You have to have a judge. Now, what that means is you can bring forth cases that have no merit, and it's up to the courts to throw it out. But you can't sit there and say, oh, here's a statue of a person who today we don't like what they did, so therefore let's get rid of the statue, right? You may actually want to have that statue around so you can say, don't do like this idiot did, right? Again, the same thing, you might have a play about about something on civil rights movement, such as, let's say, the whole thing about Medgar Evers murder, civil rights murderers, on some of that stuff, or something like the death of Stephen Biko. That, to cover that topic, requires you to do some very painful stuff. So you got to have, you can't automatically say if it's got bad words, if it's got bad things, then you can't do it.
Yeah. I want to address what Swag had to say here.
Sure.
He says, I just think it's a little hypocritical to hate someone because they watch porn with a fake child and yet not hate someone who watched rape porn when both are fake. I think he's talking about what I said earlier about if I see somebody watching fake child porn, I'm going to keep my distance from them. I didn't say I was going to hate them, by the way. I never used the word hate. However, I'm not into either one. I'm not into rape or pedophile porn. I'm not into it. But I honestly believe I will keep my distance from someone who, I know this. I'm sorry, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not saying I'm wrong here at all. I am not saying I'm wrong. I'm just saying that I will keep my distance from someone who I know is partaking in that kind of stuff. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I could very well be wrong, but it's something that I cannot stand, and I'm not. They're not breaking the law, so I don't want them to go to jail. But I personally would not be friends with them.
I'd say, I think one of the things, Galen, that you have to be really careful about is that there's some things that are done in the name of protecting folks that abuse free expression, abuse artistic, merit, so forth, and so an example, you might sit there and say, well, we've got to protect the children, and so therefore we're going to require that all content that's naughty be banned because a child might actually see it. And you go and look at something what Theresa May is proposing in the UK, or was proposing because it was election time. They were basically wanting to protect children, to protect the society, having bad content being banned. Now, first of all, it's impractical. But again, be wary when someone puts down blanket absolutes, right? That's generally, if you're starting to say all blah 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 should be banned or illegal or blah blah blah, you're probably almost, you're probably on dangerous grounds. You're probably on indefensible grounds. Now, it's a different to say if you're dealing with a topic of prejudice, you should understand that you're in murky waters. You're dealing with rape. If you're dealing with child pornography, understand you're in murky waters, right?
Yeah.
And to be careful because there are people who can take it hyperbolically. It doesn't mean that if you touch one of those topics, therefore you're a bad person. That's why I don't like the FCC stuff saying, if on an FCC controlled thing you say one of these naughty words, then bad things happen. I think it's in context, right?
How's it hypocritical? I wouldn't be okay with rape or people who did the rape porn either. You're not understanding. How's it hypocritical? I said I would not be happy with it. I'm not saying ban either. I'm saying I just personally wouldn't be comfortable with it. That's all. I'm not.
And by the way, there's nothing wrong with I don't like I'm not comfortable around cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I go and try to ban it or get after people who smoke around me.
Exactly.
Right? It's my hang up, my problem, right? And I think that Petmonk is saying is he doesn't like certain things. Just like you may not like food with mushrooms.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you want to ban mushrooms and make mushrooms illegal.
Yeah.
It just means you don't like mushrooms, right? That's.
Yeah. It's like
you should be allowed. Exactly, Larry. You should be allowed to choose the company you keep.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's nothing that. I mean, I'm not even saying they're bad people for doing that or anything. I'm not saying it could be freedom of expressing deeper things. I don't know. I don't care. It's just something that I'm not exactly comfortable with.
Yeah. And again, when you deal with absolutes, you are on really dangerous grounds, right? Yeah. And the courts in the U.S. have said your freedom of speech is certainly not absolute, and I agree with that. On the other hand, if the court is trying to restrict something to protect people, they're also on dangerous grounds.
Yeah.
Right. Mushroom symbols and what? I mean, I was just like saying some people don't like cheese, right? Some people don't like rutabagas or pick your. It's okay not to like something. You don't have to like everything, right?
Landon doesn't like strip clubs. I fucking love them. There you go. But and I'm a pretty perverted person, so I'm not downing anyone. I'm just saying that it's okay not to be comfortable with something.
Yeah.
That's okay with it.
Now, if you try to push it on me,
exactly.
Even if I like it, I might be offended.
And I agree, Galen. There you go. Gigi Allen said some really fucked up shit, and I fucking watched the documentary about Gigi Allen about 15 times.
By the way, yes, and by the way, I like Brussels sprouts. So Larry, when we're grilling Brussels sprouts, one of the things I'd like to grill. So just keep that in mind.
I'm gonna shove a Brussels sprout up your ass.
Hello there, Vikings. How you doing?
But it's just, I don't know. I mean, and maybe sometimes I say things wrong. I mean, we all do. And maybe earlier when I was talking about the people who write, I wasn't in any way saying that they're all bad people. I wasn't trying to say that.
Context.
Yeah.
Is there? I think that again, in terms of the First Amendment and the government suppressing speech, the government has to have very strong, compelling reasons to begin to limit. And even then, it needs to be very careful.
Yeah, and I'm going about that. Like, I would actually, and I just sit there and said that I'm uncomfortable with it, but I would actually fight for the right to do it.
Yes. So Galen has a question. He says, if pedophiles want to march for their rights and advocacy, assuming, let's say, that advocacy of advocating pedophilia, would any defend them other than myself from a lynch mob, um, and trying to censor them? You know, I think that's so. Galen, here's the thing: is that the areas of the of rights, right? The Bill of Rights needs to start with the places that are most uncomfortable, because there's a slippery slope of saying, well, okay, those people, maybe we can let them, their rights be abused more than stuff, because, you know, no one likes blah, right?
Yeah.
And once you really once you start that in general, it becomes, it is really the slippery slope. Now, you know, you could sit there and say, you know, people who like blue cheese, I think we should, you know, allow those people to be fired because we don't like blue cheese, and blue cheese eaters should, you know, once you start down that road, right? I'm using that as an absurd example. You're on dangerous grounds. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't. It just means, again, the government has to have really compelling interest, and the government needs to be very careful when it applies those rights.
Okay, here's what I want to say to Galen about that, because here's my deal. If they're just marching down the street saying, you know, stupid shit, I'm not going to try to stop them. I'm going to stand out there and ridicule them. I guarantee you that. I'm going to stand out there and say you're fucking child molesters and you should go to jail. But I'm not going to try to stop them from marching. No.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I think it's the same thing. You know, the ACLU defending, you know, Nazis from, you know,
Yeah.
being able to march, right? That's a thing. Now, but here's a case again where you have to be careful. You have to apply some context, some reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might say, hey, you know, should religious people be able to march whenever they want to? You might say, well, of course. Now you move over to some place like areas of Belfast, and you have the DUP Orangemen marching, and you have the kind of problems those marches do. Now you're talking about a different situation. Should they be banned or not? Well, that's a whole Northern Ireland problem. But that's an example of a case where all of a sudden, when you say, "Hey, religious people will be able to march where they want to," and now when there's issues, how do you handle it? Just the same thing. Let's say that you have the what's the name? There's a famous Baptist church that really hates gays, and they go and march in an area that's known, you know, a known gay hangout. What do? Both have rights, but you probably better have some police protection there, because you're going to end up with a riot, right? The um, so an anti-gay group going to the Stonewall Inn and organizing a protest on Gay Pride Day against gays is likely to create a pretty bad disturbance. Should they be allowed to do that? Yes. But should you be careful with that sort of situation? Yes.
Okay. Galen asked a question. Would I guess he's asking anybody. Would I stop people from attacking them?
Westboro, that's right. Yeah.
Would I stop people from attacking them? I said no, and I will try to, and I'll try my best to explain why. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it before I even start. I'm probably wrong here for saying what I'm about to say. But no, I would not try to stop people from beating them up. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't try to stop the people from marching. I wouldn't try to stop the people from beating them up. And yes, I know a victim's a victim, but to me, a child victim it's worse.
Well,
it's worse.
Yeah, and now Galen, you know, when you have incendiary situations like that, you know, one of the things is, me personally, I don't want to be anywhere near that situation. On the other hand, that's what police are for. On the other hand, if you have some of these sectarian marches that go on in places like Northern Ireland, there is some serious stuff happening. And why I mention that, um, I was in a house on a parade route when a bunch of people of a certain religion were destined to have a bunch of parade by the house. The house did not have enough flags of a certain type on it, and the military deemed that house to be potentially against the marchers, and we were all evicted from the house while during the period of the march. So as a kid, I was basically kicked out of a house simply because the house didn't have enough flags showing that they were okay. Right? That was, again, during the areas of sectarian violence. The same sort of thing. If you had a bunch of pedophiles marching, you better have police presence there because there are people who are going to cause trouble.
Yeah. No. Well, yeah, honestly, you want to stay away from it. I get you. And I would too, probably. But I don't know. It's a touchy subject. It's murky water, as you said before.
Yeah. Personally, I wouldn't go near the situation because I realize that's a volatile situation.
I agree with Gary. I am 100% for anybody proposing there, but I agree 100% on that. I do. Like I said though, in my opinion, I could not. From my own personal views, I wouldn't defend them.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
Freedom. When you talk about you should be allowed to express yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's nothing absolute about that, but in general you should, and there should be very severe restrictions on suppressing your ability to express yourself. How you respond to something you don't like should also be considered because there's this gray area between debating, disagreeing, creating a disturbance, and creating a problem.
Yeah.
That's a So I think it's important to I would say so if I were the city official and a group of pedophiles wanted to march for their right to advocate overturning of child pornography laws, I would not constitutionally I would not have any way of preventing them, nor would I want to prevent them from marching. On the other hand, I would make it clear that you better have sufficient police presence to protect their right to march, to protect the people protesting, right? And try to keep the peace about the whole thing.
Yeah. I understand. Well, I understand, Galen, 100%. I get you, man. And I would say, yeah, let them say what they want. But I cannot honestly say I would stand out there and defend them for saying, because here in my mind, and maybe this is wrong as well. In my mind, I know that a lot of them out there are they're actually rapists. They're actually pedophiles, and I couldn't. Yeah. I don't know. And I know that may be wrong.
I would support, Galen, I would support their being defended.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm the best person to defend it because I'm not skilled in crowd control and in security and so forth. But people who are capable of doing that should be there on hand to make sure the situation stays as calm as it can be.
Well, I am trained in that shit, and I still wouldn't do it.
And again, I think that you should err on the side of letting people express themselves. Mm-hmm. But that itself is not absolute, because if there are people who are non-consenting victims of that expression, then you have to balance the right between the person to express themselves and the person to be able to not be a victim. even that is limits, because you can't sit there and say, okay, we need to defend these people who are being triggered by certain words against a microaggressions of some parade, right? You have to apply some reasonableness to it, and there's no absolute. You cannot absolutely say anyone who wants to do anything should be allowed to express it in any way. Of course not.
I want to talk about Raising. Raising Girl asked question, do you think pedophiles choose to think how they do? I ask this because I feel bringing attention to something that will not just go away is the better way to find real solutions. She also said if they have to hide, they will not seek help. And the fact it can happen where accepted, they might just get help. Okay. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I can't delve into the brain that much because I'm not that kind of person. I will say that a lot of them are just, they can't help it, right? They're born that way. However, I don't have to fucking accept it. And I may be wrong for that. I don't accept it. I don't give a fuck. Look, and by the way, defend from a mob. I will say this. I want to kind of correct something I said earlier. I wouldn't let someone beat up and hurt someone just because they have a different opinion, even if it's an opinion I disagree with. Even if it is like a child molester, no, not a child molester, sorry, someone advocating for pedophile rights, I would not let someone hurt them. So I guess I corrected myself there because I wouldn't, and because I'm not that type of person. I am a person that automatically defends people in situations like that. I've always been that way. So yeah, Galen, I guess I'm with you on that in a way. I am.
Yeah, and Galen, and I understand the sentiment of standing against the mob alone.
Yeah.
Now, in practical terms, I might not be the best person who is capable of defending against a mob. You may, someone who has a skill, let's say, of a bouncer, might be better able to defend against a mob. I mean, I understand the sentiment, and I understand why I might want to do it, but I'm probably not the best, most capable defender, even though I understand why. Right?
Yeah.
I know my limit. I know my limitations.
And see, there you go. In a way, I would feel even if I can't accept this person or I disagree with this person, I would feel horrible as a person knowing that I do have the ability to defend that person and to protect someone from getting bad hurt, and I didn't do it. I would feel bad because I know how I am as a person. I would feel fucking horrible if I didn't do that now. So me having some ability to defend someone, because I'm not saying I'm a bad motherfucker, but I'm a bad motherfucker. No, I'm joking. But I've got a few skills that can stop people from getting hurt. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and that's so if you talk about, you have a choice between Landon defending you against the mob and Pimp Monk, you might want to ask Pimp Monk because he's a pretty badass dude.
Well,
he knows how. He's very quick on his feet in assessing the situation, and just like he can improv in humor, I suspect he can improv in a ugly situation too.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's not just evil and dark. I want to read what Galen said up there because he makes a good point. There are many pedophilic tendencies can happen. Not all were born that way. It can happen through brain surgery and injuries. It can also be temporary to beyond any possibility of will. I get that. It's and like I said, I will not ever say that I'm not wrong because I'm the first person to say I may be wrong, but I'm still standing by what I say. And honestly, I can't say that I accept the person. But I was wrong earlier when I said I wouldn't defend the person because I most likely would. Because I am a different person than I used to be. Back in the day, I wouldn't. Back in the day, I wouldn't have defended them. But now, as someone who I overanalyze everything about myself, so if I didn't do that, if I didn't defend them, I would have probably be able to live with myself for a while. So,
what if so? Yes. Now again, it depends upon context. Because there may be times where I'm more effective in that than someone who is able to physically handle themselves. It depends on that. But I guess Galen, again, I think that one of the most important places to protect rights is in the areas where it is not so nice, not so pretty, not so comfortable, not so clean and nice. That's the area where you want to be the most vigilant, because that's where it starts, right? And so a lot of this stuff where people say, oh, we have to protect the children, or oh, we have to protect society from terrorism, that's the area. That's why you want to be very you know very active in watching the government that doesn't go out of control, because it's relatively easy for whoever is currently the boogeyman of society to be allowed to be pushed aside, right? That's
Yeah.
the thing. So it used to be in this society that if you were soft on communism, you were even vaguely socialist,
Mm-hmm.
you were scum, right? Now it becomes if you are seen to be pro ISIS or Islamic extremism or Sharia or something, that's kind of ironically kind of the new new boogeyman. But there's always is some group for which the government tries to push and invade into stuff. So that's why I say on the Supreme Court, I would strike down as unconstitutional Trump's travel ban. I would use the 14th Amendment to do so, and I would eviscerate Trump. And what I would do is I would use his tweets, his own words, to sit there and say, this is an attempt to selectively disenfranchise certain people. Now, if they came back to me in the court and say, well, how can the government protect the United States against people entering in order to do us harm? Then I sit there and say, okay, then what you have to do is have probable cause and other sorts of things to go. But you can't simply say, oh, you are from Iran, and therefore we're going to ban you from coming to the United States. When you allow places like Saudi Arabia, right? It's the hypocrisy of that ban that was bad, right? That was the thing. So again, I think that the example, the travel ban, was a case of the government going after people that aren't so popular,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to get away with it, right? And I understand there are people who sit there and say, but we've got to defend the United States against these terrorism and blah 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 blah. Yes, but
Would you?
believe me, you've got to be very careful when you put down these absolute blanket
Yeah.
laws.
Yeah. What? Can I blanket you with my sperm?
I think it's physically possible, but would I
Oh,
like
it's
it? Probably not.
possible. Because I mean, you look like a Jackson Pollock when I'm done. I'm telling you now.
So, Lennon, some people, including myself, are just trying to do that. What do you do when your action is meh? Okay, I didn't know which that. I lost context there.
That's Radio
Um,
Tokyo. He don't make no sense. And by the way, Radio, I was not able to do the thing today. I did get your message, and I apologize. I was going to apologize in a message, but since you're here, I do apologize. But I had a very fucked up day, and some shit was fucking with my brain. So I do apologize, buddy. I promise you, I will do your show. I promise you. It's just today was a bad fucking day.
yeah. So, using Trump's words against him. That's hopefully that's an example of amateur politician who you if you want to get somebody or get some group, don't be so stupid as to lay it out there, because your words are going to come back to haunt you, right? I thought was just pretty immature, pretty stupid, right? And same thing in business, right? If you want to go and try to stop some other business, the last thing you do is put up a sign saying, "Hey, we're going to try to stop this other business," right?
That's what we were kind of talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times people don't realize when you fucking rant and rave on something constantly, that's gonna spark people's interest in the business or whatever you're talking about.
Yeah. If I were Trump and I didn't like what CNN was doing or CNBC was doing, I would never mention them.
But now what CNN is doing right now is fucking wrong. Trying to fucking root out people from saying shit about or making memes about them. I made a meme last night about them just to fucking because what CNN is doing is fucking wrong.
I don't know what they're doing because
Well, they try to. They're basically blackmailing a fucking a Reddit guy, the guy that created the meme that Trump used, and they told him that he apologized or whatever. However, they said in an article that we're not going to reveal his identity unless stuff comes up. So if they're telling him you can't say anything about CNN or we're going to fucking dox you, basically.
Yeah, I know. I mean, folks, if you
and by the way, he's not a kid. He's not a 15-year-old. No. There is no proof that he is a 15-year-old. Let's not say he's a 15-year-old because I thought so at first, and I started diving into it. There is no proof that he is a 15-year-old.
Yeah. Now you see, I'm coming out of this because I don't watch that kind of crap, right?
Yeah.
Just so I don't watch child pornography. I don't like pornography in general. I don't like it. I also don't like things like CNN or CNBC or Fox. I think they're also news pornography, right? And my suggestion is blow up your television, stop watching crap on there, and watch something incredible.
Watch film.
That's why I say I have no idea what CNN is doing, and I just don't care.
You want real news? You watch fucking Keemstar, goddammit.
So that's why I had to ask, because those are memes. I just basically say, yeah, not interested, right? News pornography. That's
pretty good though. Actually, I like that news pornography because they have definitely raped the fucking news. I agree with you. I do not watch CNN or Fox or any of them anymore. And I used to be a fucking news junkie, by the way. I used to constantly watch CNN.
So you're looking for other ways to get information and news sources.
I do.
So.
And do not ever go by one fucking news source ever.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that is because if you do that, then you're leading yourself into a path of stupidity. Because
Yes, read, write, grow, take a walk, listen to the wind, see the sky, the clouds, and
blow
think.
and give him like a blowjob.
And critically think about what you're being told, what you're being shown.
No.
That's another thing to do is
God damn, this vapor's strong right now. Fuck. It kicked my ass.
Don't just be spoon-fed. Digest it.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Galen, look, Galen.
Don't huff your news.
Yeah, don't huff your news.
Digest it and
No, that's bullshit. You got to listen and believe, Landon. You got to listen and believe.
And get out of your own egos. Yeah. By the way, Galen, yes. That that video that T.J. Kirk.
Who is this T.J. Kirk person?
I don't know. He's some YouTuber that I.
You talking about that long-haired faggot?
I don't know his.
He's a long-haired faggot.
I know he has long hair.
And he has bananas in his butt.
Yeah. By the way, Galen Sketchy is the one that gave him. So we also thank also Sketchy for helping on that. So.
Sketchy, fuck Sketchy.
So yes, and so Galen PimMonk has cut way down on the number of actual cigarettes or cigarettes that you've.
Fuck you, Landon.
So I mean, how many? I mean, because like the other day you said you only had like 3 in one day or something.
It varies. Today I've had like probably around 8 cigarettes. I'll be honest with you.
But it's not like 4 packs a day.
No, it's not. No, it's not like 3 packs. Yeah. So yeah, he won't know what you think about that video. You mentioned the video. TJ's video.
Yeah, Matt says, my dad worked for CNN for quite a few years before he had a stroke 10 years ago. No longer work. Is disgusted by what it is now. Wow. So back to the Galen. I don't know if you you might want to post into the chat if Pet Monk allows it.
Well, Sporkamus got to pay the week clock. He just said we. He's got to pay the week fine.
Did he?
Yes. He said Landon dropping wheezing cigarettes like a gangster.
Ah.
So yeah, he just fucked up. He's one videos before. I actually did not get to see the video, so I cannot comment on it yet. So I will watch it.
Would it be okay if Galen dropped in that link? And people watch it after the stream, right?
Fine, yeah, absolutely.
I think it's one of his.
I'll put it in my description. I'll put it in my description if we're talking about it. So I'll put it. Give me the link and I'll put it in the description. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, Galen, go and find the link and post it there. I think that was, Galen came to me and said, "Hey, Landon, you retweet this thing," and so I want to. It's basically talking about ego stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of another thing that you're talking about in terms of getting your ego out of politics. When I went on this medical thing where they did the open heart surgery, I had to have a period of time where I didn't get excited, right? And I had to be calm as I was recovering and leading up to that. And part of that was turning off mainstream news, and part of it is also not reacting, trying to get my ego out of politics, right? Because that's one of the things, if you identify yourself in this camp and some other camp does something, reacting to it just get yourself all wound up and the irrationality just comes pouring out, and it's not healthy for you. So the people who tweeted "not my president," right? I didn't want to have any part of the defenders or the detractors of the current president, and I had to end up turning off news for quite some time because it's just full of ego-based politics.
I sent Galen a little sweet message in the chat room.
So as I say, it's getting your ego out of politics is a really important thing. I tell you, when you're a legislator, if you want to be effective, you've also got to get your ego out of your politics, because if you'll find if you're ever an elected official and you're dealing with stuff, you're going to win votes and lose votes, and if you hold grudges, you will become the most ineffective person, legislator, parliamentarian, because you'll always be in a pissed off mode. There always will be somebody who will take you off, vote the way you don't want to do so. You've got to be able to, if you lose a vote, you've got to be able to move on to the next topic.
I will say this though. Now, I mean, I agree with you 100%. You can get them both. But getting over one's ego is a hard thing to do.
It is, but you can try. And certainly for medically, I had to do the coward's way, which was shut off all news. And not only did I shut off all news, but I asked people not to tell me about news for a long period of time and remain there. You're talking about, the not my president thing. Trump is the president of the United States. Why? Because two critical things happened. The joint session of the House and Senate certified that he had at least 270 electors, and he swore the oath of office. Those two things, he's president, right? Now, if you said, not my style of president,
that makes no sense. Yeah,
but not my president, you're establishing a dangerous precedent, which is the next time there's somebody who is your style of president, the other group's going to sit there and say, not president, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense either. It's stupid. He is your president. You can say it all day long. If you are an American citizen and you live in America, he is your fucking president, no matter how much you dislike him. I don't like the fucker either, but he's my president.
Yeah.
Oh, goddamn, landed a bug. A bug, landed a bug. Shit.
A bug?
There's a bug all over me. God damn it.
What kind of bug? Is it a good bug or a bad bug?
I don't know. It was one of them flying little bastards. fucking bastard.
Is the Electoral College worked? Yes, I mean the Electoral College, when Electoral College did what it was designed to do. You may not like what it did, but I don't know that anyone could credibly make a case that the election was fraudulent. Ironically, the dude that's in office is probably the one that's cheerleading there was a fraudulent election. I mean,
fine little bug, keep fucking with me, Landon. I'm sorry, but there's no motherfuckers everywhere. I got it.
I'm not an anti-bug person. In fact,
I'm an anti-bug person.
In my house, I let spiders roam.
Oh, you're a sick motherfucker.
Because I know that spiders do a much more effective job of eating bugs.
They're pretty effective dead, too. They won't fuck with me. Fuck a spider. I cannot stand spiders. I'm a big old...
That's kind of funny, because I look at it and say, okay, the fact that I have spiders means there's bugs to eat. And then when the spiders eat the bugs, they kind of go away because there's...
Yeah, but every time I see a spider, I look at it like it's looking at me like I'm a big ass bug. Spiders are stupid. They think everything's a bug.
Say, where are you, Landon?
You see, tell me, he sees the water fountain. He's at work.
Water fountain. You're talking about over there? Yeah, there's a water fountain over there for that. Yeah, I'm at work here, and so
Burger King. He works at Burger King. That's a very nice Burger King.
Like our monitor over there, and I got this thing covering up because there's some proprietary things behind there, but everything you could see is okay.
Where's the broiler? Where's the big broiler that they broil the patties in?
You're talking about the...
You work at Burger King, Landon.
Oh, you're talking about the coffee machine out there?
Yeah, no, I was saying you worked at Burger King. Still. Oh. Yeah, they have a badass little coffee thing going on. And Landon, a slave-driving bastard, made his interns make me coffee. He's a slave-driving old fucker. Had them young boys making me coffee, which I kind of liked it. Those are some nice dudes, though. I've got some really great interns that are going to go. Just way smarter than me. I felt like so dumb when I walked in that building.
Yeah.
Everybody here is smarter than me.
Well, no, they just have different experiences than you.
I can whoop most of them's asses, but still.
That's true, but.
Yeah.
No, but on the other hand, I don't think that any three of them have the improv intelligence that you do.
But yeah, okay, well, thank you. But you know how this is how I am. Like people, sometimes people just stand out to you. Mm-hmm. That one intern, the one he's a young guy, but he's balding, right? He got hairy issues. Mm-hmm. That guy, for some reason, I don't know, he stood out to me. I just remember him. I thought about it.
Yeah. He's pretty amazing.
You could tell he was smart. You could tell that
he's from from Slovakia. When we remember the country, some people used to call it Czechoslovakia. Well, the Czech Republic and Slovakia. He's from the Slovak side, and he's really good. He really knows the technology.
You could tell it. Yeah, you could just get vibes off of people, and he seemed like a very smart person.
Yeah, when I hire interns, the thing we look for is somebody who knows how to think.
Yes, sir.
Right, and I think Galen would appreciate this. It's not, you have to have some basic skills, but we don't know what we don't know, and so we are in a situation where it's like, okay, figure it out, right? There's a problem, well, figure it out, right? And so I look for people who know how to think, have a basic understanding, basic ability to communicate, and some basic understanding of some basic skills, but everything else is figuring out how to figure it out. Learn how to learn, right?
Yeah. And they were all, by the way, they were all nice young men.
Yeah.
Wasn't there one from Italy or something?
Yeah, guy from Italy, guy from Russia, and a guy from...
Yeah, they were all very nice kids. Everybody that, I'm not. I don't remember the guy. You know how I am about names. But the guy from Google, that was a very nice man.
Oh
Very nice
yes,
guy.
that he's and that guy. I don't want to dox him on there, but that guy
Yeah.
is an amazing coder. His ability to write a complex program and have it work the first time is just
And what got me
amazing.
is that like we go to Google, right? This guy's like a fucking brilliant brain. He's a coder, like Landon said. Motherfucker wearing flip flops at work.
Yeah,
He was wearing flip flops to work.
because they judge him based on his results, not on his
Yeah.
shoe wear.
Oh, I love. I'm by the way now. Even though I bash on Google all the time, I like the way their work environment for their employees. It's badass. They've got lounge chairs so their employees can go take a nap and relax and do whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool how they got that set up. But and also got free lunch. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what, for example, there are companies that there and say, just ply your employees with free food and actually get great chefs to go and make great food,
Yeah.
because you don't want them to have to like spend an hour going downtown to find some place, or and also allow people to bring in and cook their stuff. So what you didn't see was there's whole places where if you want to come in and cook your own food,
Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah.
right, you could do so, right?
But they had everything you wanted to eat though. They had Mexican food, burgers, they had all kinds.
And it
Of
wasn't any cash registers or there. It's just like, okay, don't
Every,
don't waste your food.
oh,
Don't be a jerk and
yeah.
enjoy yourself.
What really impressed me was the refreshment thing. That every fucking drink you could think of, Coke, from every Coke product, every Pepsi product, every tea product, they had everything. I'm like, damn, and it's all free. But that was a very good experience
Yeah,
going to Google and meeting that guy. It was real cool. I think I made him laugh, and that's what I try to do that.
yeah, yeah.
It was fun. Well, that was a
So
good.
you're talking about the Great Red Spot. I believe we're talking about this probe called Juno. It flies over the Great Red Spot on the 11th.
Mm,
This is a probe that's orbiting very close to Jupiter. We're going to see the Great Red Spot in amazing detail. It should be an interesting thing, and I'm sure there's going to be some prizes going on, because reality is pretty interesting.
yeah, thank
So
you, Dev.
Juno.
Thank you, Devin, for the $2 something. $2.54. Appreciate
Hey,
it.
thank you very much. That's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Every dollar counts.
And so yes, the I will put this in a description here. This is the thing about the Juno mission, and if you want to have the pictures, if you look at the gallery, image gallery, take a look at that image gallery there, and this is showing you some really detailed images of Jupiter, because this probe gets very close to the cloud tops, and anyway, so over on the 11th, I believe it's flyby close to the Great Red Spot, and we should learn some things. We're also probably going to be quite puzzled. I suspect there's going to be stuff that's unexpected that's there. So yeah, so rather than hyperventilating on the latest Fox, CNN, NBC stuff, spend a little bit of time enjoying reality. And I wanna mention, like, this image here, right? This image of Jupiter's south pole, right? That link I just posted there. This is a view of Jupiter we can't see from Earth because we're on the side, right? And it is incredible detail, the complexity of this three-dimensional gas thing that has weird metallic hydrogen and super fluids and other sort of really quite exotic stuff going on. And it has some of the images are you have to understand, are really little hard in the context to see. But for example, if you look at an image like this one here, what you got to understand is that um, what you got to understand is that what you're seeing right now is um, is what that image shows you is really close to Jupiter. Right? You're only seeing a small portion of Jupiter because you're so close to just like in your near Earth surface, you're going to see a small section. You're seeing details that even probes, even like the space telescope or probes going by Jupiter can't see because this is actually so close in. So I wish there was this thing where
there's an after stream hangout, and there will be Chatterbait fun.
Anyway, so I'm going to mention that this is something to watch. We don't know how long this probe is going to be able to do dives in close to Jupiter because it's a very, very intense. Hey, Kill. It's a very, very intense radiation environment there when it goes very close to the pole. But so far, it's been able to survive these passages by, and we're learning a lot about the details of stuff. Like here's just another example. Let's take this closer view of Jupiter's south tropical zone. So this would be like the Tropic of Cancer, looking down at the trade winds. And if you look at this image, you'll see a bunch of white dots. Those are sort of like towering clouds coming out of the surface, and you see there's a little bit dark spot next to them. That's the shadow that those clouds are being cast. You're seeing three-dimensional texture in the clouds with shadows going across. It's near the spot where the sun is setting, which is why it's dark on one side and sort of light on the other. But you can see those little peaks with the little shadows behind it. Basically, that's showing the shadows being cast by these large storms on Jupiter.
You're going full Noam Chomsky, I would say.
Excellent. Well, I don't know that I'm a linguist, but I'm certainly I would say going full Alex Filipinko or going full Tyson maybe to be more apt.
By the way, Galen's my hero because Galen, he's just a great guy. He's one of my heroes.
Galen's a great host, a great cook.
He's one of my heroes.
And a great
teacher.
Has a great philosophical.
He's a great teacher. If you're willing to learn something, he's a great teacher. That's I want to like put that in there. If you're willing to like open up and not be a pussy, I really want to say that. I mean, that's the best way I could say it. You can't be a pussy with Galen. You just can't be. Emotional pussy is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about fighting skills. I'm talking about an emotional pussy. You can't be that with Galen because you will get beat up real bad emotionally and mentally. It's just true. He's taught me many, many things. And I mean, look, I'm not saying I'm a stupid motherfucker or nothing, but I mean, I'm not educated in a lot of things that like Landon and Galen are. And so those two have been like my biggest, those have been my biggest teachers ever. And when it comes to stuff like that, Landon has definitely taught me a lot of shit, and also inspirational too. Because I mean, both of them also make me challenge myself.
Yeah,
they've definitely made me challenge myself into a lot of things. And I actually made a video. It was my idea, but then Galen kind of gave me another idea about like who's your hero thing, and I made the video, but I can't post it right now because my computer won't read my SD card, and I have to buy an SD card reader now. So, but as soon as I get that card reader, I'm going to post that video, and I think Galen will be very impressed with it. It's not nothing about him; it's about my number one hero, and we all know who that is, my mother. So, yeah. But yeah, sometimes you got to give people their props, and I think Galen deserves that. He has definitely taught me many things, and I hope I've opened his mind in some ways, and I'm hoping I've done the same for Landon here.
Yeah.
And because when it comes to certain things, like I know I can teach people, like comedy, I can teach people how to be funny. I know I can. To a point, I teach you certain skills of being funny. You either got it or you don't, I think, but still.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Send Pimp to college. What the hell? Did I freeze up?
Yeah, you froze up for a little bit. Or actually, could have been. It could have been the just YouTube
Yeah, it could have
rather
been.
than you.
See, I know you're trying to be insulting there, Eric, but whatever, dude. I'm okay with that. Galen and Landon both are pretty damn awesome.
Yeah. So Rosengirl asked about the magnetosphere around Uranus, and
You're not sticking telescope up my anus. I don't.
it's a very interesting. The magnetic field structure around Uranus is very interesting because, first of all, the planet's rolled over on its side, and um, and then the magnetic field is tilted about a 60-degree angle from its axis of rotation. Just like in on the Earth, the polar spin axis is not the same place as the magnetic field axis. They're off centered. Well, in the case of Uranus, they're like 60 degrees apart, and so the magnetic field around it um, gets pushed on by the solar wind, and it's a very complex interaction that occurs. Um, there is a really good graphics for that. If you look at this image, you will see the rotation, right? So if you look at that image, you'll see the solar wind is coming in from the left, going to the right, right? So the sun is basically to the left, and you see that there's a line that's almost horizontal. That's the axis of rotation, right? Of the spin of the actual physical spin of the planet, and then you see the magnetic field is tilted off to the side, and the shield the magnetic field puts around the planet is interacting with the solar wind in a very complex way. And does this dance, dance farther back. As the planet spins around, it has a very complex wobble. So the planet kind of looks. Let's see. The planet. That's not a very good thing because that's. See if I have anything that looks. Oh, here is. I'll use this guy. Okay, so here's the if you're the sun, basically, planet Uranus when its pole's off on the side. So when it's in the summer, the pole is facing almost directly towards the sun, but the magnetic field is in a different direction, right? So as it spins around, this magnetic field whips around and corkscrews, and so you see at the bottom of that image the the corkscrewing that comes from the fact that the magnetic field is so far off from the spin axis that it's actually quite. You see the twisting going back from where the planet is.
Okay.
And it's a very complex system that we discovered, resulting in a nice little spiral. Yeah, we have some pretty nice. Yeah, he's actually, Galen's known for outdressing everyone. That's true.
Yeah, he
Galen.
wore a beautiful evening gown the night we went out. Um, yeah, he's a good dresser. He really is. I'm a sucky dresser. I'll be the first one to tell you, dude. I have horrible fashion sense. I'm a t-shirt, track pant guy. I have no fashion sense. I suck at it. But I suck at everything, actually. I'm not good at anything except masturbating. Refrigerator. Okay. Sorry, I read that out loud. I didn't mean to. You know, I'm a tuxedo. I usually wear a tie and shirt everywhere I've been told. I scare people when I do it good. Cool.
By the way, if you want to know about Neptune, um, because Neptune's axis of rotation is nearly vertical and its magnetic field is near its axis of rotation, kind of like Earth, it has more of a classical shape.
Mm. Classical bitches. I can dress well if I really want to, though. I prefer t-shirts and shorts. Okay.
And if you want to compare Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, so it looks like this. So you see the axis of rotation, the orientation of the magnetic field. So you see that if you look at the red line versus the white line is the physical spin of the planet. The red line is the magnetic field, and you see with Uranus, it's a fairly steep cross. Neptune's a little bit cross, but not as much as Uranus is.
You call it Uranus. Is that the proper pronunciation?
There's two pronunciations, Uranus and Uranus, and I believe both are considered proper.
But you brothers not hear the anus joke, so you say Uranus, right?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of a six one half does the other.
Oh.
I grew up learning Uranus before I heard about Uranus. In
When
fact,
did you actually hear about?
the first time I heard someone say Uranus, I thought they were making a joke.
Yeah. When was the first time you heard about my anus?
Probably on one of your first shows that actually it was certainly one of the first shows that Jacqueline referred me to, and you were referring to your 3 testicles and other sorts of things like that. So
I've actually showed my anus on private streams before. People have seen my ass. Gage actually seen my ass in person. I think most people who have been around me in person have seen my ass at one point.
So wants to know more about Uranus.
He's being a fucker right now.
And I'm going to give him the information that's there.
He's
one of the things,
fucker.
by the way, he asked, so I'm going to give it to him because if he didn't want to know, he wouldn't have made the joke. So interesting enough that Uranus actually has less mass than Neptune, right? If you in terms of order of mass, Jupiter, Saturn, then Neptune, then Uranus, and because we believe at one point Neptune probably formed between Saturn and Uranus, got moved out when you had a 2-to-1 resonance with Jupiter and Saturn. Where they at one point you got a point where Jupiter went around twice for every time Saturn went around once, and the 2 heavyweight planets kind of caused Neptune, we believe, to go way out into the Kuiper Belt, and it started kicking a lot of stuff inward, and Earth and other objects inside got pummeled by lots of comets and other big objects before Neptune moved back in. So Uranus is again, it has a very weird magnetic field. It was discovered by Herschel, and was quite surprised no one was really looking for planets, but he, using a telescope, in fact, you can go and see the telescope that Herschel used to discover Uranus at the Greenwich Observatory in the UK.
See? I knew he's been a fucker. Look at him. He's been a fucker. He said, but what if I met your actual anus?
What if you meant your actual anus? Then I would answer the question that I want to answer. I mean, I'm a skilled politician, and when in debate when I'm asked a question I want to answer, I answer the question I want to answer. So you're getting the answer that I want to answer.
I'll tell you about my anus. It's nasty. I haven't wiped it in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's you know the we don't know how the interior what Uranus is like, but we suspect it's got a nice core in the middle. It's about 14.5 times the mass of the Earth, so it's it's fairly big as far as planets go.
Yeah.
But we think it's got a nice rocky core in the center. It's a lot colder than Saturn. And by the way, Uranus has a brightness enough that if you have good eyes and you're on a moonless night under very dark skies and you know where to look, you can actually see, for certain times you can actually see Uranus as a very, very faint object. So it's near the limit of people who have good eyesight to be able to see it, and so that's kind of unique about it. It's when you're scanning around with binoculars, it's actually a fairly obvious sort of pale greenish disk.
Yeah. M-class question mark. Earth sucks.
Now, one thing we don't know about Uranus is why its internal temperature is so low compared, for example, Neptune, which has a similar composition structure, but not as much as Uranus, radiates about 2.6 times as much energy into space as it receives from the sun. But Uranus's total power of Uranus actually is about 1.06 times, plus or minus a tiny bit, of the sun. So Uranus radiates about as much as it receives from the sun. We don't understand why that's the case, because Neptune radiates more energy than it receives from the sun. We not quite understand about that as well.
Okay. Earth is M class. I mean, I'd raise it to dirt and let things start over, but whatever, man.
M class? I usually show you M class with a type of star, so I guess I don't understand.
I don't either. Radio's really retarded, though. So. I think since
there are rings. Uranus has rings. I don't know if you know.
Minus has rings. Minus has rings.
They're fairly faint, but they were discovered.
Minus leaves rings in my underwear. Got skid marks.
But if you want to see the size of Uranus compared with Earth, that little image will give you a relative size of Uranus and Earth. I'll also show you the color changes as well. So Earth is prettier, I would say, but
yes, Luna, I will. Well, I don't know. Maybe it depends. I may not even go. South Carolina. I'm joking. I'm going, but yeah.
Then and now the Hubble space. There's actually auroras on Uranus, and the Hubble Space Telescope is actually taking pictures of the auroras, the Uranus northern and southern lights.
Well, since there's a little bit of a pause, I think there's some people in there that should pay the clock.
Yes. So SS Woman X at gmail.com.
That's it right there. That's the
So
PayPal.
you go to PayPal and you send it to that address.
Yep, you send money.
Mint green, yes, it is. Now, if you look at something in terms of infrared, you'll actually see a lot more banding.
It's mint green.
So there are little spots you can see, faint spots you can see, but there's a lot of sort of smog or opaque material high up that sort of obscures the banding that's there. But there is some. Now that's a case where Uranus was kind of in its fall situation.
Mm-hmm. Fall, motherfucker.
Here's this was a this is a picture showing, again, this is an infrared, and it shows the rings around Uranus as well as the banding.
But does it show the rings around the rosy? The pocket full of posies.
Well, they're not suffering from the plague, so.
Yeah.
Remember again, Uranus axis is tilted on the side, so depending on what time of Uranus year it is, it's either pointing directly at the sun or it's pointing to the side, depending on where it is in Uranus's orbit.
I can honestly say this is the most the word Uranus has been used on my stream ever.
It'll probably be demonetized because we said Uranus.
Yeah. Well, it's not in the title, so we're good.
Ah.
We're okay. Other spots, hot spots.
Yes, so there are storm systems that produce hot areas because there's it's atmospheric too. Just like a hurricane has intense energy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're assuming those hot spots are associated with it. A lot of the atmosphere is ethane, acetylene, methane. Of course, down lower is helium and hydrogen.
So you're saying you're saying Uranus is very gassy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Methane molecules account for about 2.5% or so of the cloud deck. Around its composition. So it doesn't have the surface area. It's because it's clouds, or you can't stand on the visible surface. There is believed to be much deeper in a solid core. That's much lower down.
You have ring piercings landing there. Galen wants to know.
Do I have ring piercings? No, I do not have any piercings. Nor do I have any tattoos.
He's gonna get one though. He's gonna get my name tattooed on his big giant penis.
So, in terms of what Uranus is composed of, it's about 83% hydrogen, about 15% helium, about 2.5% methane, and trace amounts of other stuff like hydrogen, deuterium, that sort of thing. It also has some ammonia ices, some water ices, ammonium hydrosulfite. I think there's also
a lot of different shit.
Methane stuff. Methane hydrates.
That's sweet. I've only seen one cloud payment of $2 a night. That sucks. Y'all gotta do better than that shit. But how do they poop? Oh, she's talking to Galen. Galen said he knew somebody get their anal ones in prison one time or something. That's fucked
By the
up.
ironic thing is, a little bit of fact is King George III was so impressed with Herschel's discovery of Uranus that he basically gave him a £200 a year stipend on the condition that he moved to Windsor so that the royal family could look through his telescopes. And so he set up a home there, and for £200 a year, which was a lot of money back then.
So Uranus earned some money.
Yeah.
Okay, Uranus was pretty okay. Stupid. Well, some people get tattoos around their asshole, so I can see someone getting a piercing there.
But he didn't stay there for long. Herschel did a lot of traveling to the southern hemisphere,
Mm-hmm.
and was one of the first people to take a major telescope down there and do some really detailed observation. He and his daughter, she also did a lot of major work.
Okay. So, Landon, you done any drugs lately?
Does caffeine count?
Yeah.
I guess I did caffeine this afternoon. 1 shot of espresso.
How much caffeine a day, like on an average day, do you think you take in?
I take in usually 1 shot of espresso a day.
Okay.
And an espresso shot is maybe equivalent caffeine to about a half mug of coffee.
Okay. Pimp, would you rather get a dick piercing or an asshole piercing? If I had to choose, I guess the dick. Where I could pull it out of my belly, get a little hoop there, and just pull it out when it's hibernating. So there you go. I want to see some clock payments. I'm gonna be upset. I'm broke as a black man on Black People Street.
By the way, I want to correct myself. It wasn't the daughter; it was the sister of William Herschel.
Oh. Okay.
This lady here, Caroline Herschel, who was a very significant astronomer, did a lot of contributions, and was a great telescope maker, discoverer of comets.
Well, this drawing of her makes her look like an ugly old bitch, though. She kind of looks like you in drag, Landon. Let me say. Good night, radio.
Let's see. So my question is: Does Galen know about the name, the origin of the name of Uranus, and what it means in mythology? Let's see if you know.
I have no fucking clue. Let's see. Sporkimus, I know you're still listening, you fucker. You said we in my chat room.
I have not uttered that name.
But
that
he
word.
did. He did. He owes. I'm gonna fucking shoot. I'm gonna get one of these black criminals to stab him in the leg. In one of the main arteries. I'll be right back, Landon. Please talk to him.
All right. So moons of Uranus. It has 27 known moons. Only the third most number of moons behind Jupiter and Saturn, and the nomenclature for Uranus moons are named after characters in the works of Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, and Alexander Pope. So that's sort of the convention. And so you have, for example, the favorite things like Puck, and Ariel and Oberon and so forth. You could find Shakespearean characters. I thought that was a nice, you know, collection because there's a number of like so for example, there are moons named after a character from King Lear, from Hamlet, from Midsummer Night's Dream, from Winter's Tale, Romeo and Juliet, Merchant of Venice, all those sorts of things. So if you know your Shakespeare or you know your Alexander Pope, um, you'll recognize the moons, names of the moons. And generally in a telescope, a reasonable sized telescope, you can see several of the moons. I'm going to show you a little picture of diagram of some of the moons around there, the rings, as well as some of the names of the moons in there that help shelter the rings. And those are just some of them. I mean, there's actually 26, 27 of them, I think. Speaking of moons, they found 2 new moons of Jupiter recently. Jupiter is the king of having moons on there, and now has 69 known moons around Jupiter. Hello there, Edge. How you doing? Pimp Monk is off for a little bit, but he'll be back soon. So I'm keeping you entertained with stuff around the solar system. This is all because of Galen, right? He made a various joke about Uranus, and I am honoring his request. So there's 2 new moons just recently discovered. I mean, there's the big, the 4 big Galilean moons, and then there's lots of small moons. So the moons of Jupiter, if you want to have a detailed chart, here is a list of the known moons of Jupiter. The 5, 6, 7, 8, the ones that are sort of in that colored bar are the big ones. Everyone else is, fairly teeny in size.
Yes.
And so you'll see the list out there. And some of the moons are, travel a really long distance. Like, the number 69 is over 28 million kilometers away from the planet. I mean, so some of the moons are really far out, and they take a long time to go around Jupiter. I mean, the one moon takes 981 days to go around Jupiter. So that's about 2 years and 8 months.
Did you know Lena's a hooker?
I did not know that.
She is. She's a hooker bitch. And raising girl is one of those words. You just have to figure out which one. I'd go with bitch myself.
Well, we'll get to hang out with them. For those
I'm
people who
not going. You not here? I'm not going.
What?
I had to cancel. I can't go.
Why'd you have to cancel?
Because I'm lying. I'm not canceling.
Oh, okay.
I just want to piss people off for a second. I don't know. She's a bitch to me all the time. She's mean to me. Everybody.
She has a nice laugh.
She's got a very nice laugh and a beautiful smile, but she's a cunt. Landon was ready to fight. Now, but I did see a look of like what the fuck on Landon's face when I
But
said that.
I was sitting there thinking, well, I'm going to show up anyway, even if you didn't, and then
Yeah.
I'd make fun of you.
Well, I mean, honestly, it would probably be a better trip if I didn't show up anyway.
Well, if you didn't show up, a certain word would be uttered with impunity at your gathering.
Well, then I'll let y'all do that then.
Okay, you heard him, folks. Now
I'm not gonna be there. I'm not gonna be there.
no, he did. He denied that thing and saying a joke, but he said he'll allow people to say that word.
If I'm not there, so I'm not gonna be there. I'm joking. I don't know what the fuck I'm
See, now he's joking. And so I think the main thing is you can use that word in person, but use a little discretion and moderation.
I think Edge King needs to pay the clock. That's what I think. Pimp, you come down here and party with me, fuck them.
Well, Galen, I'm one of the things I'm thinking. I have to go to Urbana-Champaign probably in early October, and I might just take the train down to New Orleans if you're down that area, just to see if you happen to be around.
I'm thinking about going in October.
Now I know that you want to do the whole Halloween thing, but I've got to be in Hawaii for the volcano around that time.
Yeah.
But that's a to be determined thing. So what else is here?
I keep freezing up for a second.
Yeah, occasionally it drops the sound out. Landon versus the volcano, yes. Yes, I will. Well, as part of it, going there for my birthday, a friend of mine that has who was born a couple of days after I was, will have a birthday dinner there. But I'm also going to do some infrared imaging of the magma to help out.
Yes, right. Your birthday is in October.
Kilauea.
I forgot about that. We're gonna get you something this year. I'm gonna suck your dick for a birthday.
But of course, the thing you folks can do is consider giving this man tickets to a Green Bay Packers game.
Yeah, dude, that's something I really, really want to do in November. It's a game on November 6th. It's a Monday night game.
Why November 6th? Why not?
Because the reason I picked that because it was the cheapest one of the tickets I've seen. And it's against Detroit Lions, and I'm kind of being a shitty person because I know they're going to beat the fuck out of Detroit Lions. So I'm going to watch them win, goddammit. I want to watch them win, but the ticket is going to be cheaper too. And it's a Monday night game. It's Monday Night Football. I could be on ESPN holding up a sign saying youtube.com/Pitmont.
There you go, for that thing.
But that is something I really want to do. But Landon created something this year. Most of you all know about the 28 days of Pitmont, right? That is the 28 days of November. You guys buy me gifts. That's the thing I've been doing for 2 years now. I've done it for 2 years. And I've got a lot of great gifts over the last 2 years. But this year I'm turning 40 years old. I'm getting old. And Landon has come up with the thing 40 days for 40 years.
Yep.
And so I guess we're going to do 40 days. You're waiting on your direct deposit to hit. I'm waiting on it too, Edge King. I need some fucking money.
So is there in your links a link to how someone might get you one of those tickets?
Oh, it's on damn it. It's like NFL tickets trading thing. I'm going to have to go back and look at it. I don't know how you would buy it for me. I guess because they email you the tickets, and then you print them off. I guess. Well, you have to.
Wait, could you do something of like a GoFundMe thing to send Pimp Monk to?
I needed to read. I think that old GoFundMe I did for my mom. I think it refunded everybody.
Yeah, because you didn't make the.
Yeah, I didn't do it, but I'm gonna start a new one for that pretty soon. I never did really work on that enough. I'm waiting on the red pot. When I read that, is anybody talking, or is that just me?
Maybe just you. So is there like a link that someone could?
I'd have to go and look for it again. I ain't been to it in a couple of
Because
weeks.
it says, I look at the thing and I say, please explore this channel, Patreon Pimp Monk, email to, SSONX, Amazon wishlist, but I don't see a link for.
But tickets.
Excuse me.
I don't know. It has to be this Ticketmaster. There's Ticket. Okay, before I was on NFL Tickettrade.com or some shit. So let me go down here. August, September, November 6th. Green Bay, Lambeau Field, Green Bay Packers versus C tickets. Let me look at tickets. Now on the NFL trading thing, I'm thinking they're gonna be more expensive on Ticketmaster,
But, I mean, I wonder what you want to do is to get do a GoFundMe, but make it, because weren't like the tickets like $250, something like that, or?
yeah, something like it. $3. Thank you, Edge King, for the $3.
Thank you, Eduking.
I thought
That's a nice thing for you to do.
Yeah, you need to pay more though, nigga. I'm serious. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. So yeah, I mean, what are you looking for? One ticket. What's your budget? I don't know what to set my budget at. I guess the higher budget, the better the ticket. But we'll say, I just think this is good. I don't know why. So, yeah, I'm not. This is not making sense. Oh, fuck me, dude. I don't understand Ticketmaster. I'll look at this shit later. Unless you landed and said Luna. Oh, because you sneezed.
Oh.
Fucking VidMe needs to step up, man. Them motherfuckers.
So, one of my friends who is monitoring the volcano took that picture of the of Halemaumau, the lava lake, boiling away there. So that's where I'm going to go and see.
Looks cool. Anyways, Edge King, Luna, Swag. Swag's a homosexual. I do believe. Are you gay, Swag? I'm gonna be ending this stream in a little bit, then I'm gonna go into a private stream and we're gonna hang out. Anybody want the link to the private stream except the people I choose? Pay $5 to the clock and you get the link to the private stream and hang out and see what we do in a perverted setting. Yes, indeed. Pervert. Man, Edge King, he usually pays way better than that. Something's wrong with that boy. He got gayness. Real Gangsters versus Swag Fans, the beast.
Another one of the images that he sent me, detailed of some of the splatter.
I disagree.
Vince.
I think you are gay, and I think you do judge. You're a judgmental gay. Stop being a judgmental gay, Swag. Why are you such a judgmental gay? What do you think about judgmental gays, Landon?
It sounds pretty judgmental to me.
Man, they're gay too. Swag got game? Well, fuck him.
Oh, yeah, see, that's another one of his things. So this is one of the ones we took showing you. This is above the
Don't be a
picture.
faggot, Swag.
This is a picture above the rim. So what you're seeing, that kind of wispy carpet, is actually glass, right? Because the silicates of the stuff sprays up and it sprays the area with glass, you know,
Yeah.
molten glass that comes down and coats the whole place like it was cotton candy. Um, and so that there's a vent where you see all that sort of dew and colored area. There's a place that's outgassing and it's coating the glass. But this is called Pele's hair, and this is, you know, what you're doing is you're looking towards the edge where the lava lake is just below, and so when it has eruptions and splatters, it sends the silicate glass up over the top, and so you got this thick carpet that, you know, with heavy boots, you know, it sort of crunches if you walk on it. And there's a little outgassing vent. That's why it's colored in that area.
Yeah.
And if you zoom in on that stuff, you can see that's very, very fine, very, very sharp. You not want to put your hands down because you're busy putting your hands down into essentially glass, because it is glass.
Mm-hmm. Cut your ass.
And so you say, well, how does that form? Well, you get basically splattering events like this guy here. So this is one of the splatter vents near the edge where it's able to send stuff up over the top. Scale-wise, on this next picture, let's see, in terms of that's probably maybe the height of that is probably about 40 meters, about 120 feet from the bottom to the top on that image.
Now. Let's see here. Swag's a bitch. Oh goody, do I have a new bottle of twine to swat? No, dude, don't swat Swag. I'm just picking on him. He didn't do anything wrong. I'm just picking on the little dude. That's all. I'm in a bad mood and I seen a victim. I'm wrong. I'm bad. So yeah. You are what you eat. And I called you a bitch. So you eat other bitches? Well, I mean, what the? That didn't mean. That's not a good one, Swag. If I called you a pussy, maybe, but I called you a bitch. The fuck? That's stupid, dude. You ain't dapper. You duper, motherfucker. What the fuck? Fucking shit. Eat her? You actually do know that eating pussy is not actually eating pussy, right? You know that, right? I know you probably never had none, but still, bro. I also call her a dickhead. So you're gonna eat a dickhead? Come on, swag. Seriously? Seriously, bro. Seriously. Come on, seriously. It's a cool thing. You taking shit serious. You can tell by the. Yeah. Yeah, see, she's a stubborn mule, so you eat ass, swag. You eat ass, swag. How much would it cost so that your days of street walking are through forever? You gotta pay the clock $28, and Luna will never be a whore again. There you go. She'll never be a hooker and walk the streets again if you pay $28. So save Luna from the streets and pay the clock $28. You used to get aggravated until you realized she was deaf. Damn. Damn, Galen. Damn. I think Luna's worth $28 not to walk the streets no more. You didn't even spell the word right, man. It's not how you spell cigarette.
How do you spell it?
It's I think that they started spelling it. It's a made up word, so who the fuck knows? But I think it's like Cigggrh, if I'm right. If I'm right, Ciggarh. If I'm right now, I could be
Cigg.
ARH, something like that. If I'm correct, it's a made up fucking word. So I don't know, really. I mean, that's how they all started spelling it. I don't really know. So, Cigarette. Who gives a fuck? Cigarettes bullshit. Okay, is it Ciggura? Okay.
Yeah, maybe URA.
Yeah.
See, it's this pimp. Because if you go and use Google, the top thing is pimp army smoking a cigarette.
There you go. I'm a meme. I've been a meme like 2 or 3 times, so it's okay. Meme it up, bitches. Meme it up. Oh yeah, he told me that the time I told him to kill the fucking birds. I remember that. There were some birds outside his door, and I told him everybody was being nice. I said, kill them. Yeah, I'm vaping. So what, motherfucker? Got a problem? I'm vaping and I'm still smoking a little bit. I can't lie. But
you cut down a lot. Cut down a lot. You're on your way.
Yeah, nowhere near what I was smoking. And I went and bought some vape juice the other day. It was not as cheap as everybody said it was though. This shit was $14 for a little bottle. But
How
I
long did
did.
it last you?
This I already like done have this it right there. That's the little bottle right there.
How long do you think that bottle will last?
I don't really know. I don't know. This is actually the first bottle I ever bought. So, but I did get tobacco flavored. Like, it tastes like a cigarette because I didn't want that fruity shit.
So well, let's figure out how long have you had that bottle?
Oh, when did I buy it? What's the day? Thursday. I bought it Monday.
The 5th.
No, I bought it Tuesday. It was either I think it was Tuesday.
You bought it on the 4th?
No, I bought it Monday. You're right. Monday, the day before. Yeah, Monday. So it was
So it's been 2 days, and how much of the bottle is still left?
like half, but I still got a bunch in the machine though. But I honestly I did spill some trying to load this motherfucker because I spilled some.
So it sounds like it may last 4 or 5 days. But how many packs would you normally smoke a day?
Well, I used to smoke 3 packs, but
So
yeah.
if it's 4 or 5 days, that's the equivalent to 12 to 15 packs of cigarettes.
But now I also roll sometimes, so I mean I can average out 78 cents a pack. So when I roll cigarettes, but that don't matter. It's healthier and everything, and I'm doing it. And I will go online to get some. I don't have the money right now. I had to go. I went to that shop, and it was a cool shop, by the way. They had a pool table in it, lounging areas, a nice shop. But cool people too. It's just that was expensive. But I know about. They say it's cheaper online. So yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I'm trying. I am trying. Nobody can't say I ain't taking effort in trying to make my life better right now because I am. Now I did cheat on the 4th, but it was the 4th. It was not talking about cheating. It's talking about cheating eating. I ate my mama tater salad. I ate some barbecue, pork chops, some ham, shit like that. But I'm good now. So
Yeah, notice he said tater salad.
yes, tater salad. Do they have a website? I don't know, baby. It's called Wolfpack Vapors. It's in Boonville, Mississippi. Cool little shop, cool people. I enjoyed hanging with them. I could probably make that a hangout spot because it's a cool place. I'm gonna try different juices, but actually, I'm gonna be honest with you. I do like this juice that I'm using right now. Now, she did warn me that I was gonna cough for a little bit when I first started because it's high nicotine level. It's not the highest, but it's 18 nicotine level. I think that's the equivalent of like a pack of Marlboros or whatever. Or whatever, I don't know. So Edge King you got what? I know you're gonna pay the clown more. That's what you mean, right? You got more money, you're gonna pay the clown. Yeah. I wonder if they sell vape juice on Amazon. I mean, Amazon sells premium. I think they do sell vape juice on Amazon, actually. That's right. I'm not sure, though. They probably do.
Let's see.
I don't know. They may not. They may not.
Wow. So I just got another message from one of my friends down in the land, way down under. They are making vodka right now because it's cold enough to make vodka by freezing. And it's currently, he said it's currently 84 below. That's in Celsius. So in Fahrenheit, it's about 119 below zero. Where he is. A wee bit cold. But yeah, so the 84. So give you context. 79 below zero is the temperature of dry ice. So it's about 5 degrees colder than dry ice
Oh, okay.
right now. And they push stuff outside. They take a mash and they put in um, uh, turnip peelings, sweet potato peelings. They put Saskatoon to get a little bit of yeast. They get it fermented, and then they start fermenting. And they push it outside, and it flash freezes. And they pull the ice block out, bring it back in, and recover. They build up. Basically, the freezing pulls out the bad alcohol and dries the good alcohol into the mash.
Thank you, Bunny, for the promotions. Bunny's my promo mod. She's my advertising mod, my shield mod. There you go. I was trying to think of something that sounded cool. She's my shield mod. And yeah. What is that noise? Tell them motherfuckers to shut up. Landon, you go whoop their asses. You say you being too loud, you sons of bitches. I was just kidding.
I told him quiet.
I just checked Amazon. They do sell vape juice. Really? I was looking. All I'm seeing is this thing called Flavor Drops. For like, is that what that doesn't look like fucking vape juice. But you ought to go to my Amazon wish list and buy me that fucking SD card reader. It ain't but $11.99. $11.99. It's pretty much a flash drive that you stick into your thing and you can read. It reads SD cards. I also have a T-shirt on there, and Raisin Girl got all excited because it's a non-black T-shirt. She's like, I've never seen you wear anything but black, so there you go. But that's not true. I wear a brown shirt sometimes. I got 2 T-shirts in the day, by the way. Oh, fuck. What's going on here? I did get 2 T-shirts. Oh, thank you. I got a couple of clock payments at once there.
Well, thank you, folks.
Hey, here's your goddamn Wi-Fi. This is Sporkimus. Here's your goddamn Wi-Fi. And yes, I've been listening. I've been playing a video game and just now put the controller down 30 minutes after you called me out on it. So he paid his Wi-Fi.
Thank you kindly.
And Matt Cobb said, I'm not paying for you to kill yourself anymore, Pimp. Quit, goddammit. People care about you. Huh? He paid $5, but I don't know what you're talking about, but thank you. See, y'all need to do what they do. They're good people.
So if you want to look at what the Hubble telescope is looking at right now, that URL will show you the current picture it's taking.
I want to try a vape juice, by the way. I don't know. Is there any vape juice out there that tastes like bourbon? That would be good, I think. Or maybe gin. Oh, a fucking gin vape. Because, you know, I love the taste of gin. Oh, we're going to ask, I think it's, well, he takes his headphones off. And I'm just going to say something to the old bastard. He takes his headphones off. Anyways, I think Bunny says she's going to make me a mojito. But we'll talk about other stuff later. The trip, I guess. I'm not really happy right now. I'm sad my t-shirt closet isn't what it used to be. I love t-shirt swag. I'm a big t-shirt guy, man. I like all these funny little t-shirts and stuff. There are alcohol flavors. Thanks, Schroeder. I appreciate that. And I'm a big t-shirt guy. You can go to my Amazon wish list and see that because I have a lot of t-shirts on my shit. I really love t-shirts. I got 2 t-shirts in today. One of them says, nope, not today. And the other one says, it's got a glass, right, a glass of water. It says 50% water, 50% air. Technically, the glass is 100% full. That, I like that, too. I think that when we get to the house, though, Bundy's gonna make me a mojito. I wish I knew somebody knew how to make fucking Pim's Cup drinks, because those things are awesome. Pim's Cup is one of my favorite drinks. Put a little cucumber in it, maybe a strawberry. That shit tastes so good. It's really good shit, man. Landon went to take a shit. I want to thank you guys again for paying the clock. Dev paid a little bit tonight. Edge King gave a little bit. Sporkimus gave 25, which I appreciate it. And Matt gave 5. I appreciate you guys, man. It helps a fucking ton. Pim's Cup, man. Pim's Cup. Yeah, I really like Pim's Cup, so yeah, it's good shit. But I'm gonna be arriving late to the house when we're there. I'm gonna be arriving around 1 a.m. Me, Gage, Ingram, and Luna. But Bunny is gonna have me. She says she's gonna make me a mojito when I get there because I like mojitos. They're good drinks, man. That was the first time I ever said the drink name. I said mojito. I want one of them mojitos. I can learn how to make it. Just let me know what you want me to make, and I'll learn how to do it. I want a mojito and Pim's Cup. That's what I want. Mojito and Pim's Cup. Now, as far as like wine selections, we all know that Landon's going to be our wine guy. Because like me, look, I'm not a wine guy, but I have learned by hanging with Landon that I am a red wine guy. I like the red wines over the white wines.
So he likes bold, fruit-forward red wines.
Yes. That's what I learned that I like.
By the way, you want to know what about the Pim's Cup. This is one recipe for a Pim's Cup.
There you go, Bunny. There's your recipe. Bunny's going to be our bartender, man. Looks like I think Bunny likes mixing drinks. It seems like every time I talked about it, she's always the one that stepped up and said, I'll do that. So it seems like she likes to. And that's a good. Actually, let me tell you something. They don't like to call themselves bartenders. What do they call themselves now?
Mixologist.
Mixologist. That is a big business now, by the way. Mixologists. They're fucking bartenders. Why everybody got to change shit up? Why don't they just call themselves bartenders? Why do they got to call themselves mixologists? It's fucking retarded.
Because some people don't like the connotation of a bar.
Man, fuck that shit. Mixologists. If that's what they want to be called, I guess whatever. Anyways, I think I'm going to end this here right now in a few minutes. And there is going to be a hangout. If anybody wants to join, I'll send the link to the little group chat thingy. And if you want to join in there, you pay $100,000 and you can join. Or just hit me up on Twitter and say I want to join and throw $10 in the clock. There you go. That's how you do it. But anyways, guys, we'll see you later. Thank you for joining me tonight, Landon.
Thank you kindly.
I appreciate it. And we'll see you later, guys. Bye-bye.